David, this sort of action, I mean, for starters, it's poor form, but laws around protections of individuals, particularly with attacks online, have been
Yeah.
strengthened up in recent years in this
Oh,
country. So,
it certainly has.
someone like John Tamihere, who is a lawyer, who should know better, I mean, what sort of protections should this lawnmower man have had in the first place? And is there actually really an appetite to allow those protections to be enacted for poor, hard-working members of the New Zealand citizenry from, managers of a political party going off half-cocked on X?
Sure. Well, there are a couple of issues that arise from this. The first is the indignant outrage of the idiot who took the photograph in the first place. Who on earth is this character who can make a judgment about the actions, perfectly legitimate, of an individual in cleaning a sign, and then sending it to a guy whose tactic is to pour petrol on the fire, John Tamihere, that's what he does. So Tamihere weaponises, as I think the word was, social media on this matter. Now, the minute that that happens, we've got an electronic communication. That engages the provisions of the Harmful Digital Communications Act. If it could be established that Tamihere intended to cause harm by doing what he did and calling out his troops and so on and so forth, he could find himself facing a charge under the Harmful Digital Communications Act, Section 22, which is an offence. Also, the material that has been posted, wrongly it would seem, which is causing this guy obviously serious emotional distress, can be taken down. But the problem is the law moves so bloody slowly in this area. You need to have an almost immediate remedy, something that works in internet time. And this goes back to the roots of the legislation itself, because what was proposed was that there should be a communications tribunal that could do just that. But unfortunately, the then government of the day and the then Minister of Justice, Judith Collins, said, no, we'll give it to the district court. So these cases just sort of go into the line along with everything else, and the delays take place, and unfortunately it just doesn't happen. Now, I know that Annie could probably get very vexed in a moment or two if I mention the harmful digital communication, because that runs head to head with freedom of expression, and she'd be perfectly correct there. But I think what you've got to look at is the harm that has been caused by this particular post, and that remedy is there.